Went to Mexico. My daughter lives there. It's always nice to go to Mexico. I love Mexico, and also, spend some time with my older daughter. She works there as a graphical designer for a US company, and then the rest of the time that she's not working, she surfs and hangs out on the beach. What a life. Man, I made some wrong decisions during my life when it comes to my career. She's on the right path. Anywho, so I of course took some pictures there, so I thought I'm gonna discuss a little bit about my photography on that trip. Of course I had cameras with me. I had my Rolleiflex, I had my Lomo 120. I mean, why I took my Rolleiflex is that this is probably the camera that I use the most. So in those conditions, new, strange conditions to me, I thought this is a safe bet. Then I also expected to find a lot of light, so I had FP4, Ilford FP4 on me. Then I also had some HP5 Plus, but I didn't shoot a single roll of HP5 Plus. And then I had some Portra 160. Those Portra pictures, I haven't developed them yet, so we'll talk about black and white photography in Mexico now in this episode. As I said, really enjoyed the trip. A lot of fun to hang out with my daughter. My entire family was there, every one of us together. Trip was excellent, food was excellent, travel was surprisingly smooth. It's almost 28 hours door to door, so it's a long trip, but it's very nice to travel now after COVID, now that it is doable. Unfortunately, the pictures I took are not that exciting. I mean, they are messy, they are meaningless. At their best, they are tourist pictures. Then there are a handful of a little bit better pictures. Now, this was once again a learning opportunity to me, and that's why I thought I'll share those learnings with you. So why was it so difficult? Now, everything is new and different. Everything looks interesting. There's things to see, things that I don't typically see in these parts of the world. So I'm constantly drawn to different things, and I think, that might be a good composition. I take a picture from there, and I take pictures, I almost shoot aimlessly and randomly around, and I look at things through my viewfinder, and I like what I see. I mean, what's there not to like in Mexico? All kind of things. And then at home I go and develop the pictures, and I look at them and they look like this. Like total mess. Things that I don't think they belong. There are things I don't understand. The compositions are messy, out of place, uninteresting. Too many things for my brains and eyes to handle. Couldn't comprehend. And if I don't comprehend, if I don't understand what I'm seeing, the picture is not good. I mean, that's just, I should know that by now. Now, tourist pictures are different. Like, I took pictures with my phone, my family, and those are all perfect, like smiling family and all that. But it's not photography to me. It's more like family members, and it's like capturing the time together and all that. That's not photography, as we talk about it here. I wanted to, with these messy pictures, I wanted to somehow encapsulate and somehow store the feelings that I had, but failed miserably. So then, of course, somebody says, hey, Mexico is all about colors, so what about your color pictures? Now, as I said, I have not yet developed my portrait pictures. They are in the development queue over there. But I'm pretty sure there are even worse than these black and white pictures. Because, I mean, if I can't take a black and white picture, there's no way I can take a color picture. There's even more stuff on those pictures. So I'm not looking forward to see them. You know, so messy, uninteresting, really random stuff. So then the next level of pictures, next bunch of pictures were more like tourist pictures. You know, more like, more like something that, you know, you as a tourist with your Hawaii shirt on and your flip-flops, you go and see something and it's happy and warm and you take a picture. Nothing wrong with that, but, you know, once again, you know, what a waste. I got these kind of pictures. Now, at least I can somehow justify those pictures. Unlike those messy pictures, these tourist pictures, I can somehow justify. So, Now, finally, after developing all these roles, there are a few pictures that caught my attention. Like, here is something that I, you know, somehow managed to create something decent. So then I tried to analyze them, and here's what I found. Like, I have a few tricks. Like, I've learned to use certain tricks that are my tricks. And I made videos about those tricks of mine earlier. You know, and this is the learning. Like, for me to create photography that looks like mine, I've learned certain ways to take those pictures, certain ways to compose, expose, and create those pictures. And I like them, and I've done them many times, and I've sort of probably developed something unique, I hope. Something that at least pleases my eye. So there were two instances. Sorry, I need to turn off my phone. So there were two instances, two different situations when I fell back to those habits of mine that I've learned earlier. Now, I made a video about how to shoot summer pictures. You know, I put the link up there. Summer pictures in Finland. So now one of my tricks was to shoot against the light. Like, how do you encapsulate the warmth and the sun and the sort of softness of summer? And my trick was, on a lake here in Finland or in the woods, is to shoot against the light. And this is what I did also in Mexico. And those pictures where I just, you know, without hesitation went straight on to sunlight. Those pictures have something, because the sunlight gives the warmth. It also hides some of the unnecessary details. And they look like pictures that I would take, even though I was in Mexico. Pictures like this. Then there was another trick, minimalistic, really a picture where the context is more important than the subject. Once again, I've done a video about this, and I took pictures on a frozen lake, pictures like this. So now there are no frozen lakes in Mexico, obviously. But I still took the same pictures there. Pictures like this. So here is the learning for me. Shooting randomly, trying to create something new in a totally new environment. I have no skills. I shouldn't even try. Now, but I've developed certain ways of taking pictures. In my modest way, kind of my view of the world. Now, if I somehow manage to take that, in this case, shooting directly towards the sun, or minimalistic view where the context is more important than the subject, if I somehow manage to take those concepts into a new place, then I could get something interesting. Like then I can put myself, this dude, into pictures taken in Mexico. Now that starts to be interesting. If there's nothing of me in pictures, they are just random but if I manage to put myself into those pictures, then there's an interesting blend that I don't think anybody else would do. That's my photography. That was a learning experience to me. So very nice trip, not a lot of good pictures, a few interesting learnings. Now, one more thing, now that we start to travel again, what's with taking film with you on a plane? Now there is this theory, or I think it is actually truth, that if you X-ray film that is lower than 800 ASA, the regular hand scanners for the hand luggage shouldn't harm them. Don't ever put your film into a cargo because they have more powerful machines there and that might ruin your film. But those that they use at the airport with the hand luggage should be fine up to 800. I don't believe that. I always ask the attendant to hand screen my films, regardless of what they are. And I've been traveling around the world quite a bit, and there's only one place where that won't work. That's in the UK. For some reason, in every other part of the world, I've always managed to get my films hand screened and not go through the X-ray machine. But not in the UK. There's something in the attitude in the UK at the airport. It's like the lords and then us mere mortals. And that just doesn't, there's no way negotiating. It's just brutal. Now, there is though now a rollout of new X-ray machines. I put the link description to the down below the video on the description page. New sort of roundy types, new X-ray machines that will destroy your film. Now they are rolling them out in the US but also in Europe. So for example, flying back in Amsterdam, they already had these new type of machines. And to my understanding, they ruin your film regardless of the speed. Now in Amsterdam, I also once again asked them to hand screen my films and no problems whatsoever. By the way, I have an extra trick for you if you struggle with the security personnel. How to deal with that? So you can typically pick and choose your line where you go. So pay attention to the screening line you go into and find the youngest person on the line, like the youngest attendant, youngest security expert. You go to a line with the youngest guy. And then when you get there, you kindly ask, like, first of all, you put all your film into the transparent zip bag so they can see what it is. You explain, I'm a photographer, I got valuable film on me, I'd rather not let it go through the X-ray machine. Can you do hand screening? Now some of them, like in Helsinki airport or even in Mexico City, no problem, we know what to do. They take it, they hand screen it, okay. But sometimes they don't know what are you talking about. They never experienced that. Young person would go and ask a supervisor. She or he would immediately go and ask the supervisor, what do I do with this stuff? And the supervisor typically knows. If the supervisor doesn't know, he's on that level in his personal, professional life that he comes and asks you, and there's no problem of negotiating and explaining. Now, if you then, on the other hand, go on the line where the security attendant looks like me, an old white guy, that's gonna go bad. You know, guys like me have an ego problem. They will just push you down the, you know, the path and say that, shut up, put your stuff there, I call the security. Like, don't ever go with the security attendant that looks like me. Take always a young boy or girl and you are totally fine. That's my professional advice to get your films hand screened. Anywho, traveling is open now. I hope Putin doesn't screw it up. Let's keep on traveling. Later. So anywho, traveling is open now. That's a lot of fun. I mean, but it's different. It's not like photographing at home. You gotta be more humble, I guess. Happy traveling, everybody. See you around.